Hello and good evening. My name is Cassandra and welcome to Couch Time with Cassie. I thank you so much for joining me on the couch today as we talk about a topic that has sort of been on my mind for the past few weeks. Today, I want to talk to you about immigrants. I myself am an immigrant. I immigrated to the US from Jamaica, and I can honestly say there is nowhere else I'd rather live than in the US. With all its imperfections, with all its challenges, for me, this is home. Now, within the news over the past few weeks, there's been a lot of talk about the different incidents with the Haitian immigrants and the Haitian community. And as a result, there's been a lot of violence, a lot of threats, and a whole community is in a state of discomfort and unrest. And this just kind of sat on my mind for a while. And as I saw different Haitian immigrants stand up and speak about their community and speak up for the community, celebrities and non-celebrities alike, I was looking for other immigrants to stand up and also speak for the Haitian community. And I decided instead of looking for them, I would be one. In 1995, the movie Clueless was released into theaters. Many of you may be familiar with the movie, and many of you may love this movie. In the movie, the main character, Cher, has an assignment she has to do for one of her classes. And she gets up in front of the class and she starts doing her presentation. And her presentation was on allowing Haitian immigrants to come into the country. And a very memorable line in her presentation was that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. What's stuck with me about that scene is that it's been about 30 years later, and we are still having the same conversation about Haitian immigrants in America. And that really just makes you ask so many different questions. And one is, how is it that so many years later, we're still in the exact same place? Is that a lack of growth on our part as a people, as a society? What does it say about us that in all this time, in so many generations, with so many things that has happened within our nation, we're still having the same conversations? And unfortunately, it's about the same group of people, which is suggesting that for over 30 years, Haitians have been mistreated in their efforts to come to America to have a better life. I would like to think we're better than that. As one of the leading countries, if not the leading country in the world, we need to be at the forefront, leading the change. That's part of being a leader. And if we're going to lead the rest of the world, we have to lead by showing the best of ourselves, by being a great example. We can't lead by being petty, by discriminating, by doing all these other things that we would honestly, if we are being honest with ourselves, we would judge other people for. We would judge other countries for not letting, those in need come in, or look down on them for not contributing as much to certain relief efforts. We can't do that and then turn around and refuse people who come to us directly for aid. We have to lead from the front, which means leading by example. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to lead in excellence, to lead in a way that shines a positive light on us. Over the past few years, we've had some negative press. And I think this is a really good opportunity for us as Americans to rebrand our image by changing our approach, by changing our mentality in how we deal with this unique group of people.
Should all oppressed people be allowed refuge in America? Amber will take the con position. Cher will be pro. Cher, 2 minutes.
So, okay, like right now, for example, the Haitians need to come to America. But some people are all, what about the strain on our resources? But it's like, when I had this garden party for my father's birthday, right? I said RSVP because it was a sit-down dinner. But people came that did not RSVP. So I was totally bugging. I had to haul ass to the kitchen, redistribute the food, squish in extra place settings. But by the end of the day, it was the more the merrier. And so, if the government could just get to the kitchen, rearrange some things, we could certainly party with the Haitians. And in conclusion, may I please remind you that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. Thank you very much.
Amber, reply?
Mr. Hall, how can I answer that? The topic is Haiti, and she's talking about some little party.
Hello, it was his 50th birthday.
Whatever. If she doesn't do the assignment, I can't do mine.
In all of this, it just got me thinking about the origins of America. America is an amazing country founded by immigrants who traveled here because the place they knew as home was no longer home. They left to flee religious persecution. They left to look for new opportunities, the hope and a chance for a better life. And that's essentially the immigrant story. Having the courage to leave the place where you've been your entire life, taking a chance, taking a risk to go to a new place, hoping and praying that it works out. You hear all the stories about people traveling here with just, the money in their pocket and the clothes on their bag and the clothes on their back and just, moving forward and creating a life for themselves. And it's really a courageous story if you really think about it. But I guess the part that's kind of not sitting too well with me is, how is it that a country built by immigrants for immigrants is now becoming unwelcoming to immigrants? Because unless you are of Native American descent, if you live here, you are an immigrant or the descendant of one. So we all immigrated to the US in order to live a better life, create new opportunities for our family, build a legacy, protect future generations. So when did it become okay for us to tell other immigrants looking to do the same that they're not welcome, that they don't get to have the same opportunities we did in the country that we live? I'm not even sure what the word for that is, but it just is just not okay. And as I thought about this even more, because this just became like an airwig and it just kind of sat with me for days, I realized that every group, regardless of color, that came to this country as an immigrant went through their own phase of discrimination by those who were here before them. Whether it was Europeans, Asians, different members of the African diaspora, almost every group who came here, regardless of color, faced some form of discrimination, because they were immigrants. They were talked down to, they were mistreated, they were forced to live in ghettos in the worst parts of the city, they were given the worst jobs. And through divine intervention or changes in society, each group were given an opportunity to improve the state of their group and ascend into what is now society. But now we're depriving others of the same opportunity. And that just seems unfair and unjust. Every group had to face it. If we look through American history, every group had to deal with it. And I think it's time that us, we, the immigrant community, make room for others to do the same, for others to have the same opportunities that we did. And maybe break that cycle that each group that comes into America doesn't have to deal with the same level of disrespect and degradation that our people, our forefathers had to deal with when they first got here. Maybe we can, I'm not saying, necessarily pave the way, but maybe we can just be a little bit nicer. It may sound really simple, but maybe that's it. If it's not necessarily in you to help, then the bare minimum is to not hurt. Because I promise, if you speak to your great grandparents or ask them about their parents, and they can tell you that when they first got here, it wasn't, peaches and flower baskets and a welcoming committee, but it was hard. They were mistreated. They were disrespected. They were abused. They were taken advantage of. And by the grace of God, they were able to work hard and get new opportunities and change their family's state. So let's try and do that for the next group instead of being the generation that says there is no more room, or you come, but we're going to treat you terribly just because we can. Let's give the next generation or the next ethnic group of immigrants that come here the opportunity to add to American society. This country is only as great as it is because of the diverse contributions that we've received from all the different groups who call this place home. Otherwise, it would just be bland. We have so many different cultures, so many different ethnicities. We have so many different types of food and music and dance, and we all get to share in each other's culture. That's what makes this place great. But maybe we can stop the immigrant hazing and just allow people who want to be here to come in and work hard and build a life for themselves and for their families. Because if we choose to continue to create communities of division and hatred and anger, those are the same communities we're going to have to live in. The communities we create are the ones we're going to live in. It's not like you can destroy this community and just move someplace else. Because look at what's going on now. The Haitian immigrants aren't the only ones that are impacted by everything that's going on, by, the violence, the threats, the phone calls. The other citizens who live there are negatively impacted as well. They're uncomfortable. They're in distress. They're feeling fearful for their lives as well. So trying to hurt one community end up hurting everyone. So maybe we can just do a much better job of either helping or just not hurting. This all comes back to community. Whether your community is at work, whether it's where you socialize, whether it's church or your religious association, that's your community. And you need a community mindset to be able to create a healthy community for you to live in, for you to play in, for you to thrive in, for your children or the next generation to inherit. So I encourage us all to take a minute and come to the realization that we are all immigrants. And all it takes is for one incident in one immigrant group for there to be anger and hatred towards that group. Maybe our groups have all had their turn, but it just takes one incident from a particular group or a member of a particular group to bring it all back around full circle. And then all that anger, all that hatred will be now redirected at that group. So let's us all keep the mindset that we are all immigrants. We are the immigrant community. Whether you're white, Black, Hispanic, Latin, Asian, whatever identity you choose to, live by. One identity that almost all Americans share is that we are all immigrants or the descendant of immigrants. So let's keep that in mind the next time we see immigrants being discriminated against, or next time you feel like making an inappropriate joke about someone of immigrant descent, or the next time something's happening and you're tempted not to say anything or not to do anything. These are all members of your community. And I know we share a myriad of differences. But one thing that we do share in common, other than being a member of the human race, is being a member of the immigrant community. And it's a community to be proud of. We are a whole globe in this country. So I encourage you to think community-wise, think with a community mindset as you go forth and interact with the people within your community. And think about how much your lives might be different without them. Can you imagine not having the Puerto Rican Day Parade or the Labor Day Parade or even the St. Patty's Day Parade, or going down to, Little Italy, or going down to Chinatown, and having all these other things that make living in America so awesome? It comes from people that are unlike you. And that's one of the things that make us all so similar, is that we are all from someplace else. And we all chose to come live in the same place. We all made the journey to live here, or our parents or our grandparents made that journey for us to live here. So let's give someone else a chance to have that opportunity to create that life. Feel free to like, share, comment respectfully below. And I look forward to you joining me again on the couch. Thank you.